Are you shocked by the things that you see on the news? The outrageous things that the government does behind our backs? Check out this quick spiel about political scandals. Political scandals have big impacts on the government and the public. The media just love a good story, and scandals get a lot of publicity. In this quick video, we will take a look at what political scandals even are, some of the effects scandals have on politicians or the government, and we'll also go over some examples of political scandals that have happened in Canada throughout history, some of which involved rotten fish, kickbacks, and bingo. Curious? Let's see what this is all about. What is a political scandal? A political scandal is when politicians or a government have done things that are either illegal, like selling drugs or stealing money, unethical, such as killing baby seals to make boots or making children work in factories, or corrupt, like misusing systems or enacting revenge, which has actually happened. In the US, this one guy planned to cause a traffic jam to get revenge on another guy. Can you believe what damage that would do? When the public finds out about these situations, it often goes viral and becomes a scandal. There have been and are a lot of political scandals throughout Canadian history, some of which made a big difference to the country or person, or just had small repercussions. Let's look at a couple of examples. Number 1. The Tunagate Scandal. In 1985, inspectors found $250,000 worth of canned tuna was spoiled. They proclaimed it unfit for human consumption. This was double-checked by inspectors, maybe even triple-checked, but it was still judged unfit. Unsure of what to do with it, the company offered most of the fish to Ethiopia. But Canada's Famine Relief Coordinator, David MacDonald, objected, with reason, saying, "It would be wrong to offer to others food that we have condemned as unfit for human consumption." So what was to be done? Around 1 million cans of rotten tuna were just piling up in the industry's warehouse, and the plant even threatened to close down. But rather than toss them out and risk losing money and some 400 employees' jobs, the Ministers of Fisheries and Oceans, a man named John Fraser, allowed them to be sold anyway. When companies and individuals bought the spoiled tuna, they sent it back. Obviously, gross. But rather than receiving a good compensation, many people only received more rotten tuna in return. When word of this got out, John Fraser was forced to resign from his cabinet, and the company lost more than just money in tuna. The Tunagate scandal is just one example of the many political scandals in Canadian history. This leads us to a very famous political scandal, one involving John Macdonald for the first Prime Minister of Canada, and the kickbacks or bribery I mentioned earlier, called the Pacific Scandal. He, as a Macdonald, had promised the new province of British Columbia a transcontinental railway, one that would make communication, travel, and trading easier. Before the scandal happened, the railway was in the process of being built, but the government lacked the funds to complete it, and Macdonald was losing popularity with the people. The scandal occurred in the year of 1872, during a general election, when John A. Macdonald accepted bribes of money from a rich man named Sir Hugh Allan, in exchange for a contract to build the Transcontinental Railway. When these actions were exposed, the story was published in newspapers all over Canada, went viral, and became a scandal. One of the results of the scandal was that Macdonald and his party lost credibility and resigned in 1873, and Alexander Mackenzie became Prime Minister during the next term, during which the building of the huge railways was postponed. The Pacific Scandal was never forgotten and is still one of the top scandals in all of Canadian history. There have been many other political scandals throughout our history, and more keep happening. Some other scandals are the Fast Cat fiasco, aka the Fast Ferry scandal, where the government built some new and supposedly faster ferries, but the project failed and ended up just losing the government lots of money. Another example is the Bingogate scandal, where a politician was accused of stealing money from a charity bingo fund for decades. Or the Richard Hatfield affair, where a premier was found possessing marijuana. Political scandals break up and move around people in the government. They allow for parties and individuals to rise up and to be humbled. Scandals are heard about all over the world, and they alter the way other countries perceive each other. There will always be scandalous things happening, but hopefully Canadians will learn from these past instances and stop making fools of themselves and the country and stop losing us money. This scandalous presentation was created by, me, with the help of Google, the textbook Horizons Canada Moves West, Wikipedia, CBC.ca, Collections Canada, and the Canadian Encyclopedia. Thank you very much for watching.